Hi, it's day 6 of Mental Health Awareness Week. It's almost over. Don't stop talking about it when it's over though. Keep chattering. Keep doing that chatting thing. I will be. You probably maybe already know, but as an artist of the All in the Mind Festival this year, I'm doing a video a day, and they're all kind of about arts and stress. In yesterday's video, I did a little poem to kind of talk about personal creativity, and it still kind of a little bit under that umbrella of the work-life balance kind of thing, and that being in the life proportion of it, and today's video kind of in the work proportion of that balance. It's all just about kind of creative problem solving, creative organisation, just creative solutions to stress, just creativity. For me personally, one of the things I think is stress and causes stress and kind of just is it kind of thing, is that feeling of kind of the overwhelming feeling of I've got all of these different things to do, so many things, and I can't do them all. I don't have the time to do them all. Like, they're just so many, and I just don't want to do any of them, but I need to do all of them. And that for me is stress, is a big part of what stress is. So I'm just going to kind of share some of the things that I do that kind of combat that. I'm going to look at it kind of in two parts, and I think the first part, as I said, is about that creative problem solving. Problem solving itself is inherently creative, and I think that when someone says, "Oh no, I'm more of a practical thinker, I'm not really creative," I always kind of think, well, you must be creative, because if you can kind of think practically and problem solve and see lots of different solutions to one different problem, then that's creative thinking. That's thinking creatively around an issue, whether that be a kind of I don't know, an issue at work, or whether that be what number to put in your Sudoku box. Like, that's all creative thinking. So I'm just gonna kind of share a little thing that I did recently. A lot of people say doing a to-do list. If you've got other things to do a to-do list, because that helps. Now, for me personally, that stresses me out, because seeing all of these things I have to do just in front of me, and kind of not having a lead to how I'm going to get all of them done, and these just massive tasks just on this piece of paper in front of me, just reeling kind of thing, just sends me into a nope, not going to do any of it kind of thing, or sends me into this hyperactivity of, okay, I need to do it all right now. So in that kind of creative problem solving mindset, I created what I like to call the to-do list 2.0, or a compassionate to-do list. I'm quite proud of this, can you tell? So what I did was I listed the things that in my head I was like, I need to do these all, I need to do these, kind of all these things. And then next to it, I just wrote down the first thing that I need to do, the first step to completing that task, and the first small step, the first manageable step. So I had my thing that I need to do, the first step to getting it on its way, and then above it, I did a little tick. I call it the to done tick, because I watched a video once. It was on Kati Morton's channel. She's a therapist and she makes videos. It's really cool. She said about how she does to done lists. So in the morning she writes down all the things that she's already done, and it kind of sets you up this kind of sense of, I've already done a bit of it. I kind of used that and did a little tick to something that I'd already done, and that then created a sense of, instead of, oh my god, I need to do all of this, oh my god, really stressful, it created more of a sense of, it's not really a to do, I need to do all of these things, it's a kind of a to continue kind of list instead. It's that feeling of, I've already done this to go towards it, and this is the next thing that I need to do to carry on with it. And I found that once I'd done that first thing, then all of the other bits kind of just rolled off it. And if it was a bigger task, then I can do like a new to-do list 2.0, if you will, compassionate to-do list, on that subject. So that's just a little example of kind of creative problem solving and creative thinking to kind of combat stress, because I was very, very stressed, like really getting upset because I was stressed about, in my head there was all of these things that were happening, and now it doesn't feel that much, and a lot of these things are still kind of, they're ongoing, so I'm not thinking about them all because they're down, and I know the first step. When I'm ready to do that first step, then I will do that first step, and I've already done something towards each one of them kind of thing, even if that's just having the idea to do it. And then the other part of that is the actual creativity in in doing it. If you are a creative person in the sense of kind of art, kind of drawing and stuff like that, then using that to combat the organisation of your workday and stuff like that. So some things that I do and some things that I would like to do to organise the work and to organise your day. Things like artful journaling and bullet journaling, kind of organising in colours, which I do a lot. I like to colour coordinate, doing little kind of doodles, just kind of doodling it out, taking kind of a problem solving solution and making it into a little art piece to kind of figure what you're doing. If that's cool for you, do that. I like to kind of do all my things quite colourfully, and kind of add a little bit of art into it. In my kind of mental illness recovery, we got a lot of packs of loads of different things. So an example, one of the things is called the stress bucket. It's a bucket and there's a tap going in the top, and that's all the things that are your stressors, that are all the different things that are mounting up and stressing you out. The edges of the buckets kind of are your resilience, so how thick that resilience is. In my head, that's your well-being at the time. If your kind of mental health is having a bad day or having a bad week or year or whatever, then that's quite a thin bucket. If your well-being is good and your all mental health in a good space, then that bucket's a little bit thicker. Then there's a little tap at the bottom. That's your coping strategies to cope with the stress. So that can be anything from kind of your square breathing to tasks to work through problems, work through stress, anything that you see as your coping mechanisms is the bit that drains out all of these stresses to make the water in the bucket less, kind of thing. It's a really cool thing, and that's a prime example of something that's quite visual and creative. And then what you can do yourself, something that I've done is just drawing that out and making it a little bit of a thing, and putting kind of in there the things that are stressing you out, and kind of dripping out each drip with one of the coping mechanisms on. So it's nice to look at, and you kind of it's something that you do. There's also a thing called the 9 pillars, the kind of 9 areas of well-being. So drawing them out, doing stuff like that, doing a creative kind of page of all your different stress releases, whether that's listening to music or taking a walk or kind of smelling a calm smell or any of those kind of things, making a little collage of all of those things. Anything like that is really, really cool. It's just a creative way to deal with stress and get that stress out and work through that stress. And sometimes just putting it down is helpful, and if you are a creative person, then it can make it seem less like work and just more a doodle session. One of the people that is like literally the queen of this like creative well-being is a friend from I Do Recovery College, and she's from there. I don't really know what I'm talking about before. Her name's Natalie, and I did ask her if it was okay to kind of mention her. She has a really cool Instagram and a YouTube channel. It's Crafting Out Loud. I will put the links in the description. I'm doing that YouTube thing, links in the description, but I will put them down there. And really, if artful journaling, if bullet journaling, just creative well-being, all of that kind of stuff is something that you're interested in, like, please just look at her Instagram and her channel because it's so cool. So in tomorrow's video, the last video of the week, I'm gonna just talk a little bit about the impact that creativity can have to raise awareness. As for today, that's everything. So I've mentioned a lot of people. It's Saturday. If you've got a day off, then you've got loads of people to look at. You've got the All in the Mind Festival, Kati Morton's channel, all about mental health. That's really cool. You probably would know that already. If you watch anything YouTubey, then you know her anyway. And you can watch some of Natalie's videos. So you've got YouTube galore and social media galore today. Once again, give yourselves a big cuddle and be kind to yourselves and stay safe and be creative. Okay, goodbye. My hair looks awful. This is why I wear a hat, because my hair is just like all over the place. Okay, bye. I really thought that wasn't going to go over there, but it did.